Hello everyone, this is Mo and this is another episode of Mo Designs Printed Products. In today's episode, we're going to cover an interesting concept that we use a lot in printing and 3D printed products, which is the concept of brass inserts. So this is a brass insert. So this insert basically has from the inside a thread and from the outside some grooves. These grooves basically latch into your printed product, and with that you get the inside thread as a result of that integration. So where you're gonna use a brass insert? You're gonna use a brass insert if you have an assembled product, if you have a mechanical mount that you want to integrate in your mechanical product or in your printed product, and you do not want to have a printed thread, or a printed thread will not be fine enough to give you the mechanical properties that you need. This is a brass insert set. As you can see, you can find a few different sizes and it comes in different shapes and forms. Again, in this case, or in the example I'm holding in front of you, you have from M2 until M5 with different heights and diameters. So with this, you could find online multiple options for your assembled needs. In today's product design, we're going to design a tablet hanger that latches into the side of a bed. In this case, it's an iPad from one of my children, and we're going to latch it next to the bed itself. It's an IKEA bed, so you're going to see as well from the design that I'm going to use the profile from the bedside. And with this, let's get started with the design. All right, let's see what we have designed. So I will start with the tree as always. So first thing we did here was we designed in the bedside column or pillar. And with this was the environment that we will design everything around. After that, I created a dummy for the tablet. So this is the tablet, including the cover. Of course, I didn't do all of the details, but I just did enough for the application that we have at hand here, which is basically I just want to capture the thickness, the width, and the height. And with this, I started basically building around the bedside pillar. So this is basically a simple clamp, as you can see here. And with this, I did another clamp for the iPad itself. And I started cutting it off a little bit, filleting it off a little bit, just to make it a little bit more aesthetically appealing. And with that, I mirrored the same assembly on both sides. So here on the right side, you're gonna see one clamp, and here you have the other clamp. And with this design, you'll have the freedom to move the entire structure around the bedside if you wish. So again, this is the flexibility I wanted to have. And with this, I started by creating the midsection that will be connecting these two. I did not want to have the tablet kind of hanging with two separate objects, just in case one of those slid away. So we need to mount them together. And due to the printer size itself, or the print bed size itself, we will need to have these on multiple prints. So with that, this is where the insert will come in handy, because you will need to split these objects on the print bed. So here I added an addendum object, or an addendum section for that design, which is a pair of glasses hanger. So basically, I wanted to have this yellow piece as modular as possible. So which is in case I wanted to have something different. So here, for example, I chose to have it as a pair of glasses holder, and this transparent cuboid is symbolizing the glasses. So I took the glasses from my daughter and basically measured them. So this is where this cuboid dimensions came from. And you will see that now you have some sort of an additional pocket, and that's what I've done here. So you're going to see so basically you'll have the tablet, which is the one blue, and the cuboid, which is the symbolizing the glasses. So after I was done, basically I've done a partial print. What is a partial print? So I did basically just this clamp piece to make sure that I got the thickness right, which indeed I didn't. So I updated the design one more time to capture that. And I'm going to show you guys how you could do a partial print for your prototype. So it's very handy, and it comes in very handy when you're designing such a big object. Instead of printing it all whole, then discovering, oh, oops, I did a mistake in one dimension. It's better to verify anything that is interacting with the outside objects or the outside environment before you actually go with the big printing and the big filament investment. So here you do not see that cut, so let me show you from down there. So I've done two dovetails here and here, and these dovetails will help me nest the objects in an easy way. So let me do a quick isolate to show you how it looks like. So imagine, if you will, here you have a dovetail, male and female, and if I give a cross section, it would be a ghosted view. Gonna see it very clearly. So you could see here that you have the dovetail from the yellow piece and the negative space from the green piece. And with that, this is where the insert will come in handy. So this is a regular M4 hex socket. So if you can see, if you look at it right now, we could create a section very quickly and explain what we've done there. And you could see that now I have the yellow piece with the hex bolt M4, as you can see here. But now, how you're gonna mount this bolt? So where does this bolt mount? It mounts basically to the insert that we were describing. So for this particular application, the insert itself was of an M4 thread. So just be careful that if you're gonna use an M4 bolt, of course you need to have an M4 thread. I didn't model the thread, but I took the dimensions from off the box, as you saw earlier in the introduction of the video. This would be the dimension that you need to mimic. And these inserts are always designed to, or like the instructions or the specifications are designed with the outer diameter that you need to copy. So if it says M4 and 6, you need to make this a 6 diameter or 6 millimeter diameter. Let me see what I've done there. From the cut itself, I think it will be very obvious. And you're going to see here the dimension. So it was a 6 millimeter diameter for the M4 insert. And with that, you basically modeled the insert location, the bolt location, and the rest will be, let me exit the isolate so you see everything. And with that, let's again exit the section view. And after I was done, I was like, okay, I think I created too many objects. So I started combining. I think this is what I've done here. So I started cutting, filleting differently, which is for mechanical objects is usually the case. You kind of think while you're doing the CAD modeling. You don't so here I discovered, okay, I could combine these two. So this is exactly what I've done. So then I've done a bunch of fillets to just make them more aesthetically appealing, etc. And with that, actually, I finished the model. So the model will be basically these. Let's select only the printed parts and isolate. So these will be without all of the environment objects. This will be our printed objects. They look nice and they are basically mounted together, as you could see with both bolts. Of course, you could argue that you could lose the bolts entirely and the brass inserts entirely, and I could do it that way too. I'm working on another iteration where we do not have these brass inserts altogether. But again, this is just an example to where you could use such brass inserts in your designs. So this is the tablet hanger or bedside hanger, including the glasses pocket. I created another iteration here without the glasses pocket. You see here from the tree, if you drag a little bit down, you could create, like I created two versions, one with the pocket and one without the pocket. And with this, you could basically take it out for printing. Let's see how you could do that. And I will give you as well an idea on how to do the partial prints or partial prototypes. So here, let's start hiding all of the objects that we do not need to export. Hide bodies, and with that, you have everything. And then we do a save as. Of course, I've done that before, so I'm not going to save it, but just to give you an idea how to do it as well on SolidWorks. And we're opening now the Prusa slicer. We do an import. And this is how it looks like. As you can see, again, even if I rotated it completely, there is no way it would fit to my bed. So again, this is where it comes in handy to split your objects into multiple different pieces. And with that, you could start rotating around the objects to make them fit. So that is what I'm going to do right now. And of course, you need to keep in mind while designing for 3D printing, and I think we talked about that before, that orientation of the print before you actually go for it. You could see here, we could basically stack them all together in one bed, which is super cool. And again, if we click here for the quality, I might go for a 0.3 draft. I think that would be good enough for such an application. It's big, so I think the resolution will not show much. Here it's of course not very happy. So you see like orange is like, oh, something is wrong. I think I'm gonna print it in two beds, so I'm gonna delete that part for now and just print these two. And this is how it's gonna look like on the bed. And you could basically see how it's gonna print. I think this is good enough. If you see here, there's no much of an overhang. There's a bunch of blues here and there, but nothing that is, I would say, concerning. And the next one will be the actual, connector piece or the pocket piece, whatever you want to call it. Let's do another 90, negative 90, and I like this orientation. And with this, you could do another slice, and you have the same object again printed in the same resolution. I think that is cool. Again, for the partial print I was mentioning earlier, just again for your kind of future like education and so on. Again, what I've done is I wanted to verify whether this clamp will be is of the right size, right? So what I've done here is I took that object and I clicked on cut, and I decided to do a very small prototype to just validate that I'm doing a good job on the dimensions. And here it was like I said, keep lower, because this is the lower piece I need. And that is the only piece I printed. And with that, you could get a very simple, fast indication. If you click slice, you're going to see like 24 minutes, and you could even grow lower if you want. So I think I could even go like this big. You do not need the entire height, right? So keep lower again. So with this, you could very simply validate whether you have the right dimensions. And again, here like 15 minutes print. So a very fast print you could get with your validation that you need before you go ahead and print a couple of hours, like, or a few hours worth of print and filament, which is cost saving as well on its own. Okay, with that, I think we could start the printing process, and let's get going. And with that, we printed 2 iterations of the same printed product. That was iteration number 1, and that was iteration number 2. Let's review them, and I will tell you what I learned in every iteration. In this iteration, it went fairly fast, and it was very successful in the mounting of the dovetails here and here. The insert here, I did a mistake in the dimensions. So I saw, like I showed you, that it was 6 millimeters in the final drawing or the final design, but in the first one, I assumed that it needed less. So in this case, I did a very quick trick you saw in the video, which was I used a soldering iron to kind of make it fit a little bit more using heat. Again, not very advised with plastics, but again, this is again a way to not to waste your print. And if you did a mistake in the dimensions, again, this is always a good trick to have. And again, with this, I think mechanically it's very robust. I use the Amazon basics silk PLA, so the white color. I think it turned out very nice, and I like the result. And again, this is the one. This is the version with the glasses pocket, and it fits very nicely. You're gonna see as well in the next video how it looks like in the mounted on the bed and with the glasses and the tablet on. In the second iteration, we learned from the previous mistakes. So here again, the inserts were not mechanically, were mechanically fitting without any heat or without any different, without again, extra squeezing or anything. So again, I used the 6mm indicated, and this fit very nicely inside the pocket that we created for it. The second part would be, or the mistake that we didn't count for this time in this second iteration, and it's corrected in the third iteration, was that the bolts themselves were too long for the application. So they're not completely countersunk. I used the trick with a few washers to fix that. Again, it's not a very bad idea, especially that this is kind of on the low side. However, this would be easily again corrected by making this thickness a little bit larger or higher, and with this you could completely sink your the entire bolt inside your assembly or inside your structure. And with that, we're done for today. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye.